Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about transposing in MuseScore, using the MuseScore tools for transposing. So when you open up MuseScore, it's going to look like this. If you're unfamiliar with MuseScore, I'll put a link in the description to where you can go learn more about it. So we're going to set up a new score. If we go up to the top left, the little page with a plus on it, we're going to call this Transposing. We're just going to do a general treble clef. We'll do C major and cool. So now we have just a treble clef staff. We're going to go in and add some music to it. Click on the N, and just for the example today, I'm just going to use the C major scale. That way you can tell after we use the transposing tools what the transposing tools are actually doing to the music with this simple example. So we'll get out of the note edit. I'm actually going to come in here and make this a little bit bigger by putting a break. And I'll do a couple more breaks. That way we can see more on the page. So now we have these two bars. It is C major scale in the key of C major. Now, MuseScore has a couple of different ways you can transpose. Before you transpose anything, I am going to copy this into the next two bars. Okay. Before you transpose anything, if you just click on the transpose button in the tools, if you go up to tools and transpose, if you look behind this dialog box, it has selected all of the music in the entire score. And if you don't want to transpose all of the music in your entire score, be sure to select just the music you want to transpose before you transpose. I'm going to click in that measure, shift and click in that measure. We just want to transpose these two bars. So again, we'll go up to tools, transpose, and you'll see we have a bunch of options. We have this first box up here that is transposed chromatically. The next box is transposed diatonically. And then this last one is other options. We'll just take them in order. In this transposed chromatically, you can transpose to a different key. So say you have an instrument that plays in a different key, like a trumpet, or a woodwind instrument that plays in a different key, and you want to transpose this music that's written in C major for a C instrument into, let's say, the key of B flat for a trumpet. If we want to transpose to the key of B flat, we will transpose down to B flat major, G minor. We will say transpose key signatures so that it will actually change the key signature of the music, and that way it doesn't just use accidentals, because if you don't click that, it won't change the key signature. It'll just put accidentals on everything. Sometimes this checkbox works, and sometimes this checkbox doesn't work. When it's checked, it's supposed to change the key signature so that you don't have to go back in and change it yourself. I find that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. But let's transpose this into B flat major. Now you can see, transpose everything into B flat major. We have our B flats, E flats, B flat on the octave, but we didn't get the key change that we wanted. So we can click back in this bar, go to our key signatures and say we want the key of B flat. And now it'll be in the key of B flat without those accidentals in it. So this is going to be, if we copy the original again, we will have to change our key signature again. Okay, so now we are back in the key of C, and I want to show you what it means to transpose up, because if we go back to our transpose tools, to key, we can go up instead of down. it will still transpose to the key that we say over here. So it'll still transpose to B major, or B flat major. But instead of going down, it will move everything up. Hey, look at that. The key change worked this time. So now, instead of taking the original down 2 half steps to starting on this B flat, it has taken the original and transposed it up to the middle line B and has transposed it up to the key of B flat major. So this one is going to be flat. So it's basically the difference between using the transpose to key up and down. That's what those 2 checkboxes mean. And closest is it'll either go up or down, whichever way is closer. I don't know why you would want to do that, but that option is there too. Because most of the time, you know which way you want to transpose, whether up or down. That is very useful if you're trying to transpose something from the key of C, written for a C instrument, like a flute or a piano, and you want to transpose it to the key that another instrument plays in. So B flat trumpet, a lot of other woodwinds play in different keys. Maybe you have another type of instrument that is in a different key. So this is very useful when taking piano music and transposing it for other instruments to play. So we did a transpose down, we did a transpose up. Let us go to the next options in our transposing window. I'm going to copy this again. I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to change our key signature back to C. So now we're back at the original C major scale. And the next options we have are Tools, Transpose, by interval chromatically. If we select this, it won't go to this key. It will actually go by an interval. So let's say we want to transpose this up a major third. So you have all of your different intervals in here to choose from. Everything from a perfect unison to a perfect octave. And you select this. It's going to transpose up by a major third. And so it took our C, transposed it up a major third to E. Since we had the transpose key signature as well in there, it also changed the key signature for us. So now this is in the key of E major. So again, format, tools, transpose, by interval, we'll go up by we'll do perfect fourth this time. So we will mark this one as transpose up by interval a perfect fourth. So that moves our C up 1, 2, 3, 4 to F. This is now in F major. Okay, so now we're back at our C major scale. The next type of transposition we have is transpose diatonically. Transposing diatonically means staying in the original key. So since we're in the key of C major here, it shouldn't change this. Since we're transposing diatonically, we're just going to stay in the key of C major. Okay. Let's say you're writing a piece and you have multiple parts for the same instrument, but you want to write a harmony against the original part. And you want to stay in the same key. and you want to write the harmony, let's say, up a third from the original part. So you'll come down here to transpose diatonically, we'll say up, and since we're transposing diatonically, we only have the 7 notes of the scale. So instead of having all of the interval options that we had in our first example up here, we only have the 7 notes of the scale. So you can do a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or 7th. So in this case, we want to go up a third. We'll say OK. So you can tell now that it didn't change the key signature, but it moved everything up a third. So our original C is now E, our D is F, our E is G, and so on. Now you have that harmony that is a third above the original. So this is going to be... So you definitely have fewer options when you choose to transpose diatonically than chromatically. There are situations where you want to transpose diatonically and not chromatically. The one way that I use transposing a lot is when I need to double a part or move apart an octave. A lot of times I use this for range issues. There might be times where the original music is out of range for an instrument, and I have to move it either down an octave to fit in the instrument or up an octave to fit on the instrument. I go to transpose chromatically, and we can go by interval up a perfect octave. This is by far how I use transposing the most, because you can do every single interval this way. So whether you're trying to go up a perfect fourth, a major third, it doesn't matter. You can pick from all of them in here. So in this case, we want to go up a perfect octave, and we'll say OK. So now our original started on middle C here, and the transpose version now starts on the C in the third space. And depending on what you use transposing for, you might not use it that much at all. You might just be using the transpose to a different key, because you might have an instrument that plays in a different key than the original music. So this is... Those are the 2 main types of transposing in MuseScore, chromatically and diatonically. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. I will also save this example sheet for all of my patrons on Patreon, so that you can take a look at this whenever you need to. If you want to learn more about supporting this channel and maybe becoming a patron, check out the Patreon link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.